are my favorite ship type in the game, especially flight deck carriers. The Donnie was, I think, my first promo ship, and it's severity and crit chance buffs, for example, are close to 1 billion, if not a little bit higher, in energy credits on the exchange.
Vengeance.
Gold! Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Vengeance God stream. Welcome to the stream of my mistakes. I just got everything set up after OBS crashing a bunch of times. Sorry that I'm a little late. And I went to set things up, and Twitch was like, oh yeah, Star Trek Online, 200 people are watching that being streamed right now. And I was like, what? And yes, I have chosen a time to stream that is in direct competition with Deca's official stream, which, by the way, is Mara and Endeavor, and they're awesome. So if you're choosing to watch me, I appreciate you, but definitely watch that VOD. Hey, Trexpert, how you doing, bud? Good to see you. So yeah, we're gonna play some Star Trek Online. I thought it would be fun to go visit the Museum of the Future, and check that out. Oh, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that, Mystic. I'm sure Sana is doing a good job. I didn't have a chance to stop and watch this one, obviously. Whoa, look at that pretty ship. That's a very pretty ship. So anyway, we're going to head to Deep Space Nine. Yeah, that's fine. You can hop back and forth, Trexpert. I totally understand. Honestly, like, as much as I love you all for being here, if there's a like, if there's something you want to go watch over there, I totally understand, because that's actual official content. What's the fastest way to DS9? I know there isn't a direct DS9 warp, so what should I warp to get closer? I would probably have their stream on the background too, but then you guys would be listening to their stream while I was talking, because I don't have a good way to do that. Okay, great. Fair it is. So how's everybody doing today? As I mentioned when I first started, sorry that I'm starting a little late. Had therapy, and then OBS kept crashing, and STO wasn't launching, and a whole bunch of other fun things. Um, and of course, I ordered lunch thinking that uh, I'll finish lunch and I'll go. Um, Rain, come on. I'll finish lunch, or I'll start streaming, and then the lunch will arrive about an hour later. And because I started so late, my lunch is almost here. So we'll see what we end up doing. I may just. Where am I? Don't know, but Deep Space Nine is over here. Yeah. So then the food gets here, I'll probably take a short break and shovel some food in my mouth. Ah. Then maybe we'll pop into the Badlands or something. Or we'll just go back down to Kamali and keep going on that. When did they start streaming? I'm going to hold on to a small hope that they'll raid me, but if they just started, that's unlikely. Okay, I'm flying past Deep Space Nine for some reason. I think the Bajor system is where I want to be, actually. I just sort of panicked because I was flying past everything at speed. Yeah, DS9 is not currently over Bajor, it's currently by the wormhole. There we go. Over that way. Does the Stronghold look as cool as it does in that little tiny thumbnail? I should go take a look. I'm sure I've missed... No, I haven't missed most of this event. I should do some of this event then. After we take a look at the thing in the future. Hey, Fragrance! How you doing, buddy? What's up is that I didn't realize Deca was doing an official stream right now. That's what's up.
Citizens of the Federation and her...
Thanks, Okeg. I shouldn't have skipped that. I wrote it. Whale probe when? Whale probe no! Alright. Oh, I was like, what's this first ship? But it's somebody else. Which is why it looks funny. To me.
Oh, senior officers are overrated. They're always like stressed out and just yelling about directives. It is better down here where the real action is.
Now, some of you know, part of what I had to do for setting this thing up was that I had to create Deca Who. Aw, thanks, buddy. But, they are the people who run the game now. Part of what I had to do when we were writing this, and when we later added the Cerritos and the Stargazer, was find quotes from the show, and then official timestamps for the quotes. And so there was a lot of going through, like, finding transcripts of the episodes, looking for funniest quotes on, like, IMDb and stuff. Funniest specifically for Lower Decks. But I also wanted something that fit the feel of Lower Decks. And so this one was really hard because so much of what's in the feel of Lower Decks is not appropriate for our game. Thank you, Mystic Tree. So this one was tough. The one we settled on I really like. This is a good, like, summation of Lower Decks. The Cerritos is a California-class ship, and the one that was assigned in the 2380s to Second Contact Protocol, while other ships in the fleet made first contact with new life forms across the galaxy. Ships like the Cerritos were tasked with the no less important duties of bringing these species safely and comfortably into the Federation. Her inclusion among the flagships of Starfleet may seem odd, but the Federation is not simply made by the heroic people whose names you've heard in your textbooks. Every officer in Starfleet plays a vital role in their success, and the Cerritos here is an example of that. I remember putting the notable crew members down and then being like, should I say there's no notable crew members to keep the joke going? But we ended up doing this. Oh, thanks, Mystic Tree. And then we've got the behind-the-scenes text, which I also wrote. Star Trek Lower Decks, the first animated Star Trek show in 46 years and the first ever pure comedy Star Trek series, has been embraced by fans for its loving send-up to the Trek we know and love. A show that wears its Trek heart on its sleeve, Lower Decks provides a combination of deeply nerdy references, hilarious comedy, and heartfelt storylines, proving it belongs among the canon of more serious Star Trek. I wrote that all in present text because the show was still airing at the time. It should probably be changed to past tense text now, but especially since there's way more episodes. But without Ryan and I to do that, I don't know who would. Oh, hey! How you guys doing? They just ended over there. Hello, Looney. Yes, Star Trek is a lot like Yellowstone. Wait, raid? Really? Hello, raiders? I didn't get a raid notification. Who raided me? Well, thank you very much, whoever raided me. If it was Deca, I really appreciate it. Yeah, no, that makes sense, Drexpert. This year was busy. Last couple of years have been busy. There's some ships that aren't in here that should be, like the Titan, but, you know, that always is. It's an unofficial raid from Deca. Okay, well, I appreciate it nonetheless. Thank you for the raid.
Not this Stargazer, of course, but being here, it feels like my life has come full circle.
Now, while the Lower Decks quote was hard to sort, this one was super easy because, like, there's only a couple of times that, there's like a couple times that Picard mentions Stargazer. So, you know, this one was the aspirational one. There we go. What's up, Ramona? What's up, Markter? Hey, Agent 79. Welcome for the very first time. Yes, there's also the Protostar should be in here for sure. This Museum of the Future. No, that's nothing to do with Paramount, Looney. This Museum of the Future was
achievement.
IKS Fatum. Whoever you are, I love you. What's up, Dexter? New achievement is still not working. That's annoying. I thought I fixed it. Anyway, this was something that I think Thomas originally suggested, and then I really pushed for, just all the time. Pushed it as hard as I could until we finally one year got the time on Ryan's schedule to get it done. I wrote all this stuff. I found all the quotes, but that was a Herculean effort to get that time 1 year. So like the year that we managed to have enough time in advance to get the Stargazer and the Cerritos in was awesome. And then like trying to get the Protostar and the Titan A put in. Had I continued for another couple of years, I probably would have pushed it a little harder for this year, but. Voyager A is a good call too, Ramona. I'm gonna say that this is the first year Deca has had control of the game on Star Trek Day, and very likely they didn't know about this until it happened. Just because it's such a minor thing. I suspect they'll try and add more things. Thank you very much for the subscriptions, Captain Witt, and thank you very much for giving Dexter a subscription. Fragrance, I appreciate you. Yeah, happy Star Trek Day +1. Ooh, nice. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing? Good to hear. Yeah, so, the Stargazer was one that I think I remember I was like, why are we adding that? But it does make sense because it's a part of the history of Trek. Wait, does that mean... If Dexter's been doing 12 months, does that mean... Have I been streaming for a whole year now? I thought I started streaming in November last year. insane. I mean, it's great. I'm glad I've been streaming for a year. Just wow, that year went by fast. It's been less than? Okay. Yeah, I thought it was November. Alright, so here. One of the newest ships on display in this museum. Oh, you gave him the next 12 months of sub for free. Oh, thank you, Fragrance. That's amazing. Folks, again, if you're just coming over from the Deca stream and you are new here, hello. If you don't know who I am, my name's Mikey Fatum. I used to be known as Ambassador Kel and still am sometimes. And I was the community manager for Star Trek Online for 8 years. I have been streaming for the past year while I've been looking for a new job in the hopes of not having to look for a new job. I love to just do this. Streaming is hard to break into. And so I love you all to death and thank you for being here. If you haven't followed already, please throw a follow my way. If you have the means and you want to throw a subscription my way so I get a little bit of money each month, that would be amazing. But if you don't have the means, don't feel pressured. Yes, the 60th anniversary deserves a whale probe. That's also crazy to think, because, okay, so when I started working at STO, excuse me, it had been the 50th anniversary hadn't been wasn't that year, but it had been like 1 or 2 years, must have been 2 years before. So it's crazy to think about a decade since that. Oh, subs are discounted in September. Hint, hint, nudge, cough. Thank you for pointing that out, Bort. So if you want to get a subscription for free, you can do that. J-Dog, doing a Borg attack would be fun. I wish that the devs were still allowed to do things like that. I think some people messed it up once upon a time. Anyway, one of the newest ships on display in this museum, this version of the Stargazer was instrumental to an important event in recent Starfleet history. Named for the Stargazer that was Admiral Picard's first command, it is fitting that this ship once again came under Picard's direct command during the Borg crisis of 2401. Thank you, Fragrance. That's amazing. You're incredible. I really appreciate it. Fragrance just gifted 10 subs to the community, if you hadn't noticed. Or 20, sorry, 20. Jesus. You're amazing, Fragrance. I love you. Everyone say thank you, Fragrance. And then everyone chant whale probe over and over until we get a whale probe. I thought there was a longer cooldown on that. It's like couch, 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 couch. Every chant pushes the whale probe's release out by another year. In that case, chant harder. There should be a ship museum, but it's like the least prestigious ships. You know what? It should be, you're right, it should be the Oberth, Kobayashi Maru, Type 8, but they should all explode as you fly past them. Anyway, 3 people led the Stargazer through that crisis: Picard, her captain Cristobal Rios, and the newly promoted Captain 7 of 9. Thanks to their leadership and compassion, the Borg Queen was allowed to coordinate the Borg and Federation fleets and save millions of lives. While the threat of the Borg did not end entirely that day, because Season 3 happened, it was the first step on a long road to peace. And then we've got the behind-the-scenes writing, which we'll need to remove. We'll need to wheel. They can change this if they want. I need to stop doing that. Fans rejoiced in 2019 when it was announced that Patrick Stewart would be returning to his beloved character from Star Trek The Next Generation, Jean-Luc Picard. Picking up 30 years after the end of the TNG movies and 10 years before Star Trek Online, the show follows classic characters like Picard and 7 of 9, and new additions to the canon as well. Picard has been an intellectual show that isn't afraid to dive into the traumatic past of its main characters. Dear reader, sometimes, as a writer, you have to write something positive when you don't have much positive to say. I loved Season 3, though. And because of that, stand on its own 2 feet is more than just a sequel series. The Stargazer is also notable because Star Trek Online's... That's why we added it, of course. Hector Ortiz and Thomas Maroney had a hand in the design. Working with legendary Starship designers John Eves and Doug Drexler. Hey, I was gonna ask, and I don't know if you know, Jeremy, but I was looking at the article on the last Starship, which that ship looks really cool. I'm glad it's joining the game, but the concept art they had of it in the I'm going backwards. That's okay, we'll go backwards. The concept art they had of it in the Memory Beta article looked like Hector's art. Did Hector design that ship? One could argue that the Ross, Gagarin, Odyssey, and Edison should also have a special place. Yeah, maybe we put them as a cluster of ships over there somewhere.
Theirs not to make reply, theirs not to reason why, theirs but to do and die. Into the valley of death rode the 600.
This quote, no debate, no choice. I pulled it because that's that's midnight, baby. That's the moment. That's Sean's moment. Okay, cool. That's neat, Jeremy. For those of you who didn't see it, it's up-resed. Yeah, we need to get Jeremy cast in a bunch of movies so that he can get a SAG card so he can return to voicing an STO. Good evening, Mito Dan. Or maybe just one movie? I don't really know how it works. The flagship of Starfleet, the Enterprise F has served during some of the most tumultuous years in Federation history. From the war with the Klingon Empire, to the catastrophic battles of the Iconian War, the conflict with the Zedkethi and the Herc, and the current troubles of the Klingon Empire. We've been through a lot together, folks. It's hard to believe this ship has only been in service for 2 years. In 2409, she launched under the command of Mikhail Sean and has been keeping us safe ever since. We at the museum hope that as long as there is a Federation, there will be a ship to bear the name Enterprise. It would be interesting to check. Scorp Designs did the upgrade. That makes sense. Enterprise F is prettiest Enterprise. Agreed. I think it would be. Ooh, we got a hype chest. Oh yeah, that is a bit hard to justify, Jeremy. You mean you're not making 6K off your voice acting? If they add the Titan A, I wonder if they add it as the Titan A or as the Enterprise G. Would be interesting to see which way that flows, because the Enterprise, because technically STO is now in a different reality where the F never got decommissioned. So what would you do? I leave that up to you folks. Enterprise H should be at Oberth. Yep, sounds good. Star Trek Online, 185 episodes as of this writing. I think my plan was to update those every year, and I didn't. We hope you've enjoyed visiting the Star Trek Museum and help us celebrate more than 50 years of the franchise. We live in one of the greatest eras of Trek, with more shows, comic novels, and video games coming every day. It has been an honor to keep that fire burning in Star Trek Online. Thank you for spending the time with us, and here's to many more years in the final frontier. Excuse me. No, I don't think we'd make it canonically the Enterprise in our game, Mino. I'm just wondering what you call it when it enters the museum. Bless you.
Wherever our mission takes us, we'll try to have a little fun along the way too, huh? Make a little noise, ruffle a few feathers.
That was fun. I don't remember if I had a lot of different options for this quote. I think this is the one we jumped on. This replica is an example of the design iteration on one of the most famous of starships. While the Enterprise's most famous appearance is seen earlier in this museum, this is an example of what the ship looked like in 2257 under the command of Christopher Pike. While James T. Kirk may cast the longest shadow in Starfleet, Pike was a kind and deeply effective captain who led the Enterprise to explore many strange new worlds. Holding for your reply. Oh, hey! Thank you very much for the raid, Mutara Alliance. What's up, everybody? It's good to see you. How are you guys doing?
Achievement!
Did I get that right? No, I did not spell that right. Oh, no. Oh, because it's Mutara Alliance streams. Let me get that right. Okay. There we go. Thank you all for jumping in. We really appreciate it. And thank you for the follow, Mutara Alliance. Thank you for the follow, Vinzu and Hellcat24. Welcome, welcome, Cave Troll and Vizu and Zephyrus. It is good to see everybody. I hope you all have had... Oh, thank you for following JJ Case and Charlotte Victoria. I am so happy to see you all here. And Cave Troll, thank you. It's great to see everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Amaron13 and Rabid Legend. Oh my gosh. The follows, they just keep coming. If anybody is new and doesn't know who I am, hello, I'm Mikey Fatum. I used to be the community manager for Star Trek Online. Back then I was called Ambassador Kel. I go by Vengeance God mostly now, but I still answer to Kel, as Rachel will tell you if she's here. Thank you. Follow Amaron13 and Rabid Legend, and hello, Charlotte Victoria. Great to see you all. Thanks for all the follows, everybody. If you want, you can also throw a subscribe my way if you have the means, as previously discussed. I'm still looking for a new job, but while I'm looking, I'm trying this streaming thing, and if I could get it to the point where I don't have to look for a new job, that would be amazing. Captain Wit, I don't hold it against her. Suna was very new to streaming when I left, and I know they just got that stuff kicked off. She may not have even known about raiding, and I don't blame her. Whoa, Jeremy! Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the subscriptions. I really appreciate you. Jeremy and Fragrance are the two most wildly generous people who watch my streams, and I appreciate you all to death. And thank you for the follow, Josie and K-Doug. Alright, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shrink STO so I can see all of these follows coming in while we're still playing. For those of you who don't know, yes, thank you very much for that for that shout out, Fragrance. So they were last seen streaming because Jeremy does not stream, but that's still okay. The IDW comics are really fun, Dan. I'm really glad they gave Jackson and Kelly, or Kelly and Lanzing, basically free reign in the IDW comic verse. Thank you very much for the follow, Chris Fox, and welcome, Josie1622. Yeah, they've been a lot of fun. If you haven't read Shax's Best Day by Ryan North, you gotta read it. But also, we're checking at the Muwok. Yes, I'm sure if you gave Jeremy enough money, he would stream Minecraft to you in private. Giggity giggity, eyebrow. The Museum of the Future was a personal project of mine. Is one of the only things that I sort of produced while I was at Star Trek. And Ryan Levitt, who was the talented one, did everything to implement it, but I found all of the quotes and wrote all of the text, and helped decide, what ships would go where and stuff. Alright, so I'm going to give Jeremy a time machine and money. The lore blogs I wouldn't say I produced. I asked permission for, and I asked permission for it, and I wrote them, but I wasn't a producer on them like I kind of was on this. All right, so we're going through and reading the text that I wrote, and yes, we did get a behind the scenes peek from a certain someone in chat that they're looking to revamp the Museum of the Future for next year's 60th anniversary, which I'm very excited to see what you do. And if you delete one word of my text, I will drive to your house and berate you politely, probably. Nope, no Protostar yet, Dan, but thank you very much, Chris. Thanks for being here. Oh, sorry, update, not revamp. You know what? It's not my job to do the language correctly anymore. Next year, the developers will completely rebuild this from the ground up. No, they're just gonna update it. What's up, Phil Desaad? How you doing? Alright, so this replica is an example of the design iteration. You too, Chris, of one of the most famous of starships. While the Enterprise's most famous appearance is seen earlier in this museum, this is an example of what the ship looked like in 2257 under the command of Christopher Pike. While James T. Kirk may cast the longest shadow in Starfleet, Pike was a kind and deeply effective captain who led the Enterprise to explore many strange new worlds. It was interesting to see the differences between this vessel and Kirk's Enterprise, and an encouragement to all of Starfleet's officers to always be thinking of the future and how to improve on past designs. And this is where Mikey found out how few people on the cast of Strange New Worlds have last names. Star Trek Strange New Worlds began airing May 5th, 2022. 8 episodes in its first season. I believe Strange New Worlds is now done, so we could put the full episode count. They could put the full episode count in here. I'm so sorry, Phil. If I could give you any advice to help you get above that, I would, but I'm not a DPS chaser. Not necessarily not by choice, just don't know how to do it. Yeah, you could do that, Mino, but I think it's nicer to have things, you know, when something is available all year round, people stop going to it. Whereas when it's available once a year, people flock to it. Oh, Strange New Worlds still has 2 seasons left? Yes. That's great. Alright, this is the version of the USS Enterprise that appeared in Star Trek Discovery. While she is the same ship that appeared in the original series, she has been recreated with a modern design sensibility and current graphical technology. This version of the ship is now the ship of the show Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which tells the story of Pike's Enterprise in the first episodic Star Trek show in 21 years. Strange New Worlds has shown both the challenges and successes of the Federation in an earlier era, giving depth to some classic characters and introduced us to exciting new ones. Oh, no, I am going backwards. Wild. Yeah, same, Theron. Yep, Memory Alpha is exactly a good example, Mystic. Or the Captain's Table. Now, it doesn't help that there's nothing really to do in either, but... As previously stated, I am going around the museum backwards. I started in the wrong direction.
The only way to defeat fear is to tell it no. No. We will not take shortcuts on the path to righteousness.
That's right, we couldn't pull the music out of this one.
We will not break the rules that protect us from our basest instincts. No. We will not allow desperation to destroy moral authority.
They could be transferred, Jeremy. They could be transferred! Don't you play with my heart like that. This one was, the only trouble with the quote on this one is I was like, is this too long? But they let me do it, so. Anybody seen patch notes for today? I haven't, but I haven't been looking. Anyway, with her exploits only recently rediscovered after years of the highest classification. That's right, I made it canonical that everyone knew about Discovery now, which makes sense. Canonical to STO. The USS Discovery is an important part of Federation history that we're only just learning about. It was discovered that one of her captains, Gabriel Lorca, had been replaced by his counterpart from the Mirror Universe during the Prior's World incident. After his removal from command, the Discovery was instrumental in ending the First Federation Klingon War, and in stopping the threat of the rogue AI known as Control. The ship then disappeared into the far future, where all of her recorded history has been lost, or rather, hasn't happened yet. So many people on the ship. Holy crap, there's so many people. This is another one where you could put the complete episode count in now if you wanted. I think that's probably true, Jeremy, because I would have definitely had to go through somebody. I would have definitely had to go through Al to get it approved that I wrote that, so. Kurleth here. Isn't reading patch notes part of my job as an STO streamer? You see, I'm a variety streamer who plays STO, Grumpy. It's very different. No, I still get notifications every time they tweet. I just don't necessarily read the patch notes because I know y'all will tell me. Star Trek Discovery is the triumphant return of Star Trek to television after 12 long years, the first show to star a character who was not the ship's captain, at least at first. Discovery set out to begin a bold new era in Star Trek storytelling with serialized, continuing story. The show tells the story of the Federation's history, including the first war with the Klingons, and is continuing on today, telling the story of the Federation in the far, far future, with Michael Burnham finally taking her place as the ship's captain. Ah, no patch notes, just a server reset. I did read the patch notes, everybody. I read them. Oh, right. It's in there, too. Okay. Great. Wait, Grumpy, do you play other games? Okay, quick check-in. All right, my lunch has arrived. I am not going to take a long break because there are so many of you here, but I'm going to just quickly shove a little bit of food in my face, and, you know, not leave it sitting out on the street for too long. So I'll be right back. Don't leave. I love you.
per household. Plus, watch live sports and the latest shows. Get more than cable for less than cable with YouTube TV. Try it free. Terms apply. Cancel anytime.
Hey everyone, Brandon here with your weekly update. So, percentages first. So, Ghost Bloods is still at 55% because of the next thing. Songrise, the second book in our Skyward series follow-up with Jancy, is at 100%. She actually sent me the book for me to do my draft on, and that's what I've been doing this week. So our final Bing is actual progress. Well, that was progress too, but Bing 10% on my version of Songrise, where I'm going through and doing editorial notes, making changes, talking about things with Jancy, things like that. That'll be my project for the...
thank you for everybody. Maury is the one of the folks who joins me every Wednesday for either Warframe or No Man's Sky. We're going back to No Man's Sky tomorrow because of the Corvettes update, and I'm so excited, y'all. I've been building Corvettes in my spare time a lot. But anyway, so the video that I was watching was talking about a bunch of different things, but one of the things it talked about was a Magic the Gathering designer has a podcast called the Drive to Work podcast, because he records the podcast in his drive to work, because that's all the time that he has. And that sound you hear is Jeremy screaming and throwing things against the wall because he had that idea first like 2 years ago. And I'm so sorry. Senna, there was a Deca stream today. I don't know what time they started. They ended probably about an hour ago. But yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool, Jeremy. That one is going to be a late night stream. So we start at 9 p.m. because, you know, other people have lives and jobs. All right, the NX-01.
Find a way through this.
Oh,
But I won't leave anyone behind.
okay.
Not if I can help it. I can't try to save humanity without holding on to what makes me human.
So, this quote. Every other series, I had some idea of what I was going to grab. Fully admit, I have watched one episode of Star Trek Enterprise in my life. It was the 2-part premiere, and I didn't like it, so I never watched anything else. So that's rough. I had no idea what to pull. I asked a lot of folks on the team who had watched Enterprise where I should look. I know we eventually found this, and I think it was that one of those quotes that I found early, and then I was like, well, maybe I could find something better, and then I realized, no, I'm not going to find something better. This is pretty great. It's pretty Enterprise. In 2151, before the Federation had even been formed, the first Starfleet ship to bear the name Enterprise was launched. I could have used Faith of the Heart. I did think about that. I didn't think I'd get away with it. Let's see. She was the first ship to be capable of going warp 5, a huge leap forward technologically. Its experimental new ship was meant to be a test run until an encounter with a Klingon changed everything. That was that episode that I'd watched. Under the command of Jonathan Archer, she served with distinction until 2161, when she was retired with full honors. During her historic voyage in the stars, she was instrumental in protecting humanity from many threats, including the Xindi weapon. Was that something that I definitely had to Google? Yep. Yeah, that's why we didn't do it, Jeremy. But I thought about it. STO does need a musical episode. I don't know how we'd do it, or how they'd do it, but it should. You know, I have heard great things about later seasons of Enterprise. I need to go back and watch at some point. That 2-part premiere I saw like when it was airing, like on UPN, and I just remember kind of being like, specifically the thing I remember is the shower scene, and just kind of being like, ugh. All right, Star Trek Enterprise aired from 26 September 2001 to 13th May 2005, 97 episodes. The last show to carry the Star Trek banner for 12 years, Enterprise told the story of one of the least explored eras in Star Trek history, the time before the founding of the Federation. This low-tech, character-focused take on Star Trek boldly went into the future of television, refusing to let the torch burn out. It is remembered for its excellent take on classic Trek stories and for its depiction of events that led to the formation of the United Federation of Planets. Decontamination gel. You're right, Jeremy. Why haven't we ever made a decontamination gel emote?
Your father was captain of a starship for 12 minutes.
This.
He saved 800 lives, including your mother's and yours.
I dare you to do better.
I know for sure that I should have picked a quote from Chris Pine as Captain Kirk, but this quote has stuck with me since the movie. It's such a good line. So, this was my choice. Well, I mean, you don't have to actually like get them down to their you don't have to get everybody down to their civvies in the emote. If people are just like, yeah, I guess there's no way to make that clean. Never mind. Grumpy, there are many more perverts in Star Trek fandom than you think, my friend. The ship you are viewing is a replica of a ship from an alternate universe. During the destruction of Romulus, Ambassador Spock and a Romulan terrorist known as Nero were pulled into a black hole and transferred back in time to 2233. Nero's ship, the Narada, engaged with the USS Kelvin, creating a branching timeline that resulted in many changes from the history we know. Knowledge of this universe, including an alternate version of the historic Enterprise, was gained during the Sphere Builder incident in 2410. Yeah, no, you're right, Jeremy. You're right. Oh, it still has 0718 in here. Because I put that in because he'd been a voice actor. That was before the actor got accused of weird stuff. The Kelvin timeline. You know what I just realized? We always refer to that film as Star Trek 09, as we should. It just makes more sense to do so. But is it actually the only film just called Star Trek? Because the others are Star Trek the Motion Picture, and then everything else after that has a subtitle. What's up, Unexpected Bagel? How you doing? The Kelvin Timeline films were an alternate retelling of the history of the classic original series. In order to retell the story with a modern sensibility, the decision was made to set the films in an alternate universe, a brilliant decision that allowed new actors, sets, and stories while still connecting to the original Star Trek continuity. I believe that 100%. I think that was the best decision they made. A young cast took over the classic roles from the original series and played them to perfection. All right, we've got another USS Enterprise, the E.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
Again, easy quote to pick. That's the one. Also, partially because that's a vocal stim for me. You know, every now and then I'm just looking at something that's come too far. You know, like the cat litter box and being like, the line must be drawn here, this far, no further. Grumpy old Nord, that is a hilarious reference. Nice, Dexter. All right. After the destruction of the Enterprise D in 2371, this Sovereign-class vessel... So much time was spent on Memory Alpha finding dates. This Sovereign-class vessel was rechristened in her honor and launched as the Enterprise E. The crew of the previous Enterprise was transferred over mostly intact and continued to serve under the command of Jean-Luc Picard. Sleeker and arguably more powerful than her predecessor, the Enterprise E served with distinction in several major Starfleet crises, including the Borg invasion of Earth's past, the conflict with the Sona, and the battle with the Romulan Shinzon. We can forget that last one, though. Like, really. The crew of Star Trek The Next Generation became the second Starfleet crew to receive their own series of movies, beginning with Star Trek Generations in 1994. The Enterprise E is the first ship in Trek to replace her predecessor with a completely new class. The TNG movies are a legacy of the impact that Picard and his crew had on pop culture. That paragraph I could have written more skillfully. I don't mind Insurrection as much. You know, as many people have said over the years, it's just sort of the, you know, it's like a really long episode of the TV show. A really long, mediocre episode of the TV show, but...
In a region where shifting allegiances are commonplace, we have to have something stable to rely on. And we do. The principles and ideals of the Federation.
There was a moment, never a serious one, but there was a moment where I considered making this quote get the cheese to sickbay. Mino Dan, somebody will write a novel that describes what happened to the E in detail, or a comic book. It'll happen. And then, you know, maybe a TV show writer will overwrite it a couple decades later, but someone will do it. 2 of the ships here were wrecked by Worf. That's true. But why not choosing the quote, and have you noticed how your breaths are firmer? There's coffee in that nebula. All of these were considered. I decided to go with this one because it actually is what Voyager's about. But there are many hilarious quotes in Voyager. The USS Voyager holds the distinction of being the starship that explored the most unknown space during the course of her voyage, although this was not her intended mission. During a mission to secure the Maquis terrorists on board the Valjean, the ship encountered a being known as the Caretaker and was thrust 70,000 light years into the Delta Quadrant. For 7 years, under the more than capable command of Catherine Janeway, I think I put that line in there specifically to shut up the Janeway haters. The crew searched for a way to return to the Alpha Quadrant and their loved ones, finally succeeding in 2378. The scientific and anthropological data brought back from her voyage was instrumental in the Federation's understanding of the varied species and locales of the Delta Quadrant, knowledge that is still referenced to this day. Star Trek Voyager aired from January 16th, 1995 to May 23rd, 2001. I wonder why I did that British date first dates on all of these. That may have been feedback from somebody. Grumpy Old Nord, the storyline that I always wanted to pitch for STO was a mission that was a Star Trek version of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. The original 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Which is basically just a bottle story about, going on board a ship and then sort of being trapped there with somebody who you realize has lost his mind. I guess it's kind of an Apocalypse Now type scenario. I just think that would be really interesting. Like your captain gets asked to observe a ship and then you notice the ship slowly getting, like, you notice the captain's slow descent into madness and like what you do to take care of it. Star Trek Voyager was the first Star Trek television show to star a female Starfleet captain. During its 7-year run, it returned to the original Star Trek model of exploring a completely unknown part of space. The show is also notable for its deeper dive into one of Star Trek's iconic enemies, the Borg, providing new layers and details to that terrifying alien race. You can talk about them, Jeremy. You could talk about them by making them. Aw, look at that little ship. Trapped on a starship where all the crew members are Q? Yeah, there you go.
Day by day. And we explore the galaxy, trying to expand the boundaries of our knowledge. And that is why I am here. Not to
You all picked up on your cues beautifully. I love you.
but to coexist and learn.
I wanted to find an aspirational quote for Cisco. There's a world where I used the "I'll learn to live with it" speech from In the Pale Moonlight. It's well documented that is not my favorite episode, although it's probably a defining moment of Cisco. I also could have used the "They're real, I created them" speech, but again, that doesn't really fit the museum. And honestly, I think the thing that swayed me besides my own dislike for the episode is that technically nobody knows Cisco did that, so for it to play that quote would be weird. Oh, you can't reach Twitch chat, Grumpy? I'm sorry. You can see it on the screen, though. That's why I've got it up there. Face punch. I am not Picard. That would have been good, too. Yeah, happy late Star Trek Day to you, too, Hunter. When I realized yesterday was Star Trek Day, and I had taken that day off and was streaming the day after, I was like, well, they'll understand. Excuse me. The Defiant class project was begun in 2366 as a response. It's very small and your glasses are very old. I understand. I've actually never asked if somebody has trouble reading that or not. But I can make it slightly bigger. There we go. Yeah, yesterday I went to the library in Burbank, and they have the whole Adobe Creative Suite there, and I've been existing for almost a year without Photoshop and Premiere, and oh my god, it felt so nice to be able to use Photoshop. Anyway, this tough little ship was Starfleet's first real attempt at a warship with absolutely no scientific equipment on board. Ultimately, she did not pass her trials, and the project was put on hold until Commander Benjamin Sisko, a member of the Defiant team, asked for her to be assigned to Deep Space Nine to hold off the threat of the Dominion. From there, she served with distinction in the Dominion War and remained in service until her destruction in 2375. The USS Sao Paulo was assigned to Deep Space Nine and renamed the Defiant in her honor. Oh, that's right. I had to put down several of them as honorary, even though they weren't actually on board the ship. Well, Mito Dan, you know, I think they built the Defiant to fight the Borg in a, like, we're just going to put a lot of guns on this thing and hope. Dexter, I'm missing history context. What moment did Churchill have that mirrors in the pale moonlight? Star Trek Deep Space Nine is one of the most beloved series in Star Trek history, and with good reason. Deep Space Nine, okay, and I don't mean this insultingly way, but everybody who tells you that Deep Space Nine is their favorite Star Trek series thinks that they're being, you know, like different and exciting and not a follower, when they are in fact being the most basic Star Trek fan you could be. And I love that from you guys. Introducing some of Star Trek's most memorable characters and a deeper, more nuanced look at Federation society, DS9 told some unforgettable stories. The impact of its serialized style can still be felt in modern Star Trek television. Hello, Sphinx and Zeza Shitan. That makes sense. Hey, everybody's allowed to have their opinions. Oh! I did not know that, Dexter. I know that Babylon 5 and Deep Space Nine are very similar shows in a lot of ways. I feel like they're different enough, though. Like, Babylon 5 is just this much weirder than Deep Space Nine, and Deep Space Nine is just this much more morally compromised than Babylon 5. That I don't think they actually should affect your enjoyment of one another.
Let's make sure history never forgets the name. Enterprise.
I mean, again, that one was an easy quote to pick. The fifth ship to bear both the Enterprise name and her iconic 1701 registry, the Enterprise D is an iconic piece of Federation history. Led by the principles of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, this legendary vessel ventured into a galaxy much changed since the original NCC 1701 had gone on her 5-year mission. During her time among the stars, the Enterprise D was present at a part... Ooh, I have a typo there that I've never caught and no one else was. Was present a part of many major historical events, including the first encounters with both the Q Continuum and the Borg. Without the dedication of her brave crew, many more lives would likely have been lost in these incidents. I do love the Galaxy class. She's a weird ship, but she's beautiful. And yes, I included Pulaski in notable crew. If the original series is the point from which all Star Trek originated, The Next Generation was the franchise's first great test. While the movies with the cast of the original series were popular in cinemas, the idea of creating a sequel to the show with all new characters was a bold one that could have fallen flat on its face. Thankfully, Gene Roddenberry chose an excellent cast and an amazing group of writers to carry on his legacy. Because of the success of TNG, Star Trek lives on. I do think, of all the characters that were created for TNG, putting Worf on the crew is the smartest decision they made. Having the overall enemies of the previous series of everything have a member on the crew was pretty cool. Looney Welsh, is that one of those, like, individual pit pieces are sent to you every month from fan home kits? I was looking at their Megazord one, and I don't even have to do the math 'cause they have a buy it all at once button. That the kit ends up costing like thousands of dollars. I think Pulaski was a very interesting character, Nord. I'm glad Crusher came back, but Pulaski was, I think, a well-written one.
Space, the final frontier.
And again, not a difficult quote to pick. Kirk has a billion of them, but that one had to be it. The most celebrated starship of her time, the Constitution-class Enterprise had over 40 years of service in Starfleet. Most of that time, including her celebrated 5-year mission from 2265 to 2270, was under the command of James T. Kirk. Besides her initial mission goals of seeking out new life and new civilizations, the Enterprise assisted in many need throughout the galaxy. Wow, but that's another typo I never caught. And defended the Federation from threats such as Khan Noonien Song. In her final flight, she was commandeered from Starfleet by her most famous captain and crew before being destroyed over the Genesis planet. You know, I'm surprised I don't have I didn't put the A in here. I must have thought it was too many Enterprises. Ah, okay. Ooh, a light kit. Man, building a model with a light kit sounds really fun. Without the original series, none of us would be here today. This iconic show aired for just 3 seasons in the late 1960s, having been saved from cancellation several times by fan campaigns. I didn't mention Lucille Ball in here. I should have mentioned Lucille Ball in here. Anyway, however, when the show moved to syndication, its popularity exploded, leading to 6 feature films with the original cast. The show has inspired people from all walks of life, including scientists who cite Star Trek as the inspiration for inventions like the cell phone. I think I never read Pulaski as cruel. I read Pulaski as practical and uncompromising, which can come across as cruel, for sure. Alright, what are we going to do here? We're going to do the breach, but I want to get a closer look at this ship. Oh, they don't have the cool spinny thing for the Voth ship. So what's the stronghold like? Is it something that I should spend a bunch of time working towards? That's true, Grumpy, but I probably can't put... Excuse me. I probably can't put that it was the inspiration for slash fiction in the game. Although you never know. Let's do it! Yeah, I think the arc was meant to be Hunter, that like she initially distrusted Data and came around on him, and I just don't know that they executed that really well.
The Voth Fortress ship is vulnerable.
You know, that's true, Looney. Yeah, I think that's true too, Jeremy. She may have also been, you know, because the writers were so straining against the rules against conflict, they created a character who was pure conflict. I don't know. When Pulaski came on the show, was Roddenberry still alive? I don't remember. Yeah, he was? Okay. So there wasn't somebody being like, Gene's dead, now we'll get to do conflict. Yeah, there are a lot of behind the scenes stories from Trek that are you don't want to look at it too much or think about it that much because the way they treated the cast or the crew or just because a show is utopian doesn't mean the stories behind making it are. He died around reunification? Yeah, okay. That could be true, Grumpy. Grumpy's saying that Pulaski might have been brought on by Roddenberry because she was on TOS twice and was kind of a Bones analog. This is really a cool TFO, Jeremy. It's neat. It's one of the better designs. I don't get sick of it. I don't know. We'd have to look it up, or somebody would have to ask. But at this point, it's been long enough that I am sure Gates McFadden has answered that question at a convention. Honestly. Come on, man. A little faster. You always finish first in your Enterprise J. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, there's a clear inspiration to this one, Looney. And it clearly is the Death Star run, but hey, sometimes inspiration is fine. What was I? Oh, I was playing a Roblox game today because the Fusion was watching some YouTube videos about it, and it was interesting. It looked interesting. But, like, it straight up is, like, The Purge is happening. Not legally distinct from The Purge. It actually just calls it The Purge. Disco, as far as I know, and Jeremy can correct me on this if I'm wrong, this TFO has never been used to determine the size, whether a ship was too big. They just made the ships the size they would needed to be. A lot of times, the ships needed... a lot of times... it's just because of how canonically big the ship is. So something like the J or the Orion ship that was so huge, it's just how big it was in the show. So that's what we did because we like canon very much. I am sure someone has, Mino. 5 assimilators to the breach? Yeah, that's great. Oh, right. Press my buttons. I have abilities and skills I can use. Oh, there it is. Oh, nope, there it isn't. Oh, no, I mean, this is done in the exact same way. Yeah, if somebody else called something The Purge, that's one thing. But this is literally The Purge from the movies. Arcade Flame, that's hilarious. Yeah, the moving turrets on the Orion ship are cool as hell. Is that the real one, or is that that's definitely not the real one. The Surge. Yes, truly the greatest danger in our lives was 90s soda. If you're wondering why I flew into a wall there. The Urge? Oh, man. When I was big in the Power Ranger forums, so the transformation call for Power Rangers SPD was SPD Emergency, and there was this one kid who really wanted their special OC Ranger to be called to have their transformation call be SPD Urgency, and it just we all tried to tell him that just sounds like the guy really needs to pee, but he did not understand. I would love to see your Vomp with a pink Vanity Shield, Josie. Nope. Oh, you're welcome, Grumpy. I get most references. I've seen it done before, Disco. I remember, I think Zeph did it back in the day when the J was first coming out. I'm sure you can still find the video online, although I don't think he's making content anymore. Hooray! What were you playing while you were ignoring me, Nord? Look at that absolute unit! Wait, I appear to be cloaked, but cannot uncloak. Fascinating. Conan Exiles, nice. Get cord, suckers! Oh, hey, Silk. How you doing, buddy? Are you here to pay the tax, the cat tax? You tried feedback pulse while standing in front of those beams? Yeah, that seems like it'd be a bad idea. Jeremy, maybe that's what your total reversal don't press this button ability could do. I was on lunch break, so I didn't ask at the time, but I really want to know what powers you would have that ability do. Woo! Increase speed and descend. Nice, Dexter. I don't know if I'll get it, because getting anything requires... hello, Silk! How are you? Sorry, I was going to say getting anything requires playing Stowe every day, and I just don't have time to play Stowe every day. Ooh, I haven't seen that yet, Mino. Folks, if you've got cool things like your pink ships or your remastered universe designs, make sure you post them in our Discord. Total protonic reversal. Love it. Everybody's vaporized. We just got here? Yeah. Yeah, that was cool, Disco. I like when you get a good improved suit in a Toku show. By the way, did anybody watch the premiere of Kamen Rider Zets? For the very first time, a Kamen Rider show is airing simultaneously in the US as it is in Japan. Now, you can't watch it on demand the way you would hope, but the company who's streaming it, Shout Factory, starts streaming it at every Saturday at 7:30, and then the stream is just looping the episode over and over from Saturday night to, I think, Monday evening. So, I'll listen to it this time.
Ships to serve in Starfleet and allow you to look at full-size replicas of the ships.
Well, that's how you make stuff look future, Mino Dan. It's like those old see-through apples or Game Boys. Oh no, Grumpy. There's a mod that changes Okang to a Moopsie? That's amazing.
Preserved and revived for this day. After one standard Earth Day, the exhibit will move to several museums and galleries around the galaxy. But it will be visible once a year above Earth Space Dock and Deep Space Nine.
We recorded it when this was only going to be around for a day. Changed the text for it was only going to be around for a week, and I think it's a 2-week thing now. Or was it just a 2-week thing that one year that it was also like an event? All right, have a great rest of your day, Jeremy. Thanks for stopping by. All right, I need to dive into some missions and stuff, but I am going to once again be right back because I have to use the restroom. BRB. That's a good idea, Grumpy. Thanks. All right. Let's get back to it. We've done the event. We've looked at the museum. Let's head back into the world of the Kobali. For those of you who weren't here last time we played STO, I gave Chad a choice over whether I would do the Kobali missions or just skip it, and they voted for me to do it. So here we are. Oh, hey, wow, thank you for the raid, Celestial Voyager. That's our third raid today. Welcome, welcome, everybody. How you doing? If anybody is new, my name is Mikey Fatum. I used to be known as Ambassador Kel and was the community manager for Star Trek Online for nearly a decade. I am now streaming full-time as Vengeance God, and I would love for you to hang out. Thank you for the follow, RazJCTV. Anybody else wants to throw a follow or a subscription our way, would really appreciate it. I am still looking for a new job post Cryptic, but if I could just do this, that would be really cool. I would much prefer to be streaming for you all the time. So, you know, let me know. Oh, well, thank you for... It says first time chat from Raider on your thing, even though you said you're not from the raid. That's funny. That is just timing. Thank you very much for the follow, Eaglot. And we met our follower goal. We're at 930 followers. That's amazing. All right, we were going into Kobali Prime. Oh, and... shout out. There we go. Everyone go give Celestial a follow if you haven't. They're an awesome person. Thank you, Mino. I was very proud of a lot of those emotes, too. Alright, now we gotta teleport... I guess to the city outskirts? Of course! Thanks for the raid! Alright, we are making this our primary mission. Not Scorpion's Abyss. Temple of my people, make primary. Okay. I do wish that I could use some form of transportation like jetpacks on this mission. I can't. And it would really break the game if I could. But it would still be cool. One thing I really wish I had is the Voth mech suit. I need to get together the Zen to buy that at some point. Apparently spiderwebs don't work on drones. Nobody tell Peter Parker. This is, what is it actually called? It is actually called, it's the Tholian Shock Trooper Radiation Cannon. It was an event reward earlier this year. Looney, that would be cool. Alright, defend the temple from incoming Vaudouar. Who are definitely behind me. I've been playing this mobile game called Moko recently, and I was just thinking about it because I have to, there's sometimes when I'm playing a healer in that game that I have to make sure I line up my shots. And I feel like this is one of those instances too. I want to try and line up my gun to shoot 2 drones at once. But also, these guys keep friggin' paralyzing me. Where you going, drones? Oh my gosh, I'm almost dead again. Alright, let's switch to Red Angel mode. Or should I say, Henshin? Oh, that didn't work. Wow. Yep, that's true. That is a great proton pack style weapon. What was I gonna say? I don't know, J-Dog, if the new event ship is any good. I haven't looked at the stats myself. Somebody in chat could probably answer for me, though. SAB liked it? Well, there we go. SAB is a content creator for STO, J-Dog. You should definitely follow him if you want more details. He's very good at this kind of stuff. Yes, casual SAB, thank you. I knew there was more to his name. It's good for ISOMAG builds, but not that great for console spam. Okay, so probably wouldn't be good for me then. I am definitely a console spammer. Guess we'll go over there. There are no bad ships, only bad loadouts. That is 100% true. A ship is just a platform, after all. What you put on it that matters. Now, there are ugly ships, like the Oberth and the Oberth. Do you believe there are people out there who think that the, I forgot what it's called, the Jaeger. People out there who think the Jaeger is an ugly ship when the Oberth exists? Console player, Disco. It's okay, Josie. It's a long-running meme on this channel. The first time I saw an Oberth on stream, I basically was like, ew, what is that? And it's a lot of people's favorite ships, so people got really mad, and so I leaned into it. But if you really like the Oberth, boy, do I have some shirts for you. What do you do if you do? What do I do if you do 1.5 million solo ISE in the Oberth? I laugh hysterically at the amount of time that you've spent doing a thing. Wait, why is the temple defense not growing? Do I have to stand over here? I do have to stand over here. I saw it move. I've been killing them too early. Yeah. Mino Dan, it is, and it is purely not in the game because some people think it's ugly. I actually really like the design, but it's not up to me. Grumpy, I am not gaslighting you. You all know my favorite cannon ship is the Bird of Prey. Yeah, thank you, Hunter. I did figure out that I had to stand in the zone eventually, but not quickly enough, unfortunately. Anyone who likes the Oberth has been drinking way too much Romulan ale. There's a lot of people that love it because I think it's like one of the first non-Enterprise Federation ships we saw. And for that, I understand the respect, even love. But also, it's a frisbee strapped to a canoe. Yeah, but unlike the Oberth, Grumpy, my ship looked cool doing it. We did it! Hooray! Let's hail Captain Kim.
The temple is secure and the doors to it are still open? This is our chance. Go ahead. I'll be there as soon as I can.
Understood. I'll be waiting for you inside the Kobali Temple. Begin the dragon's teeth. You're not wrong, Josie.
Looks like we've made it to the lowest level of the temple. Let's see
We
what's
went in the front door and then went, "What's that?" and ran down the stairs. Now that would be a worthwhile mod to make. So that it refers to him as Captain Ensign Kim every time. Hey, you know, we gotta respect Sai a lot, Grumpy. He kept that Han Moon going. Why is this gentleman immune to my lasers? Let's see if he's immune to swords. Okay, he's dead. Never mind. They're also not lasers. They're radiation beams. And if this was 2016, I would have just started an STO, which would be a wild time hole to go through. Gentleman is a great show. A great song. I never quite figured out if he's saying motherfucking gentleman in it, or if it's something else. I guess so, Grumpy. I thought you'd been around longer than me. Oh, there's nothing over here. I see. I missed what that guy said. Why are there Vaadwaur down here? I didn't even ask that question. Speak to dying Kobali. Oh, I can stabilize him. Okay. Sounds good, Grumpy. One of my Lego bricks has a copyright symbol on it. Is it legit? I have no idea. I don't know not enough about Legos.
Thank you. If you are here, then it means our secret is revealed. I am sorry, but
I took over as community manager in November of 2016, Grumpy, so I actually predate you by a month. Do you know how to open this door?
Take this. It is the code to open the door. Please, do not judge our people too harshly. You would have done the same if you faced extinction.
Let's see. Alright, have fun with your doggo, Dexter. We'll see you in a bit. Don't judge our people too harshly. Too late. Yeah. That's not.
Let's get a scan of these. We need to know more.
That's not just a lot of stasis pods. That's a lot of stasis pods. Oop. Let's see. Headphones just let me know they were running out of batteries, so let's plug them in. A scan of the stasis pod indicates that it contains Vaadwaur, but not a soldier. This temple was actually a massive storage chamber for the non-military Vaadwaur elite. Your scans indicate the Kobali have been taking Vaadwaur from failed stasis tubes and converting them into Kobali. Scan for history on the stasis tubes. There were at least 300 tubes that have had their inhabitants taken and turned into Kobali over the past 10 years. However, many more tubes have been taken since the Kobali arrived on the planet. According to your scans, it is enough that a large portion of Kabbalah you've met were probably once Vodwar in their previous lives. Scan data on empty pods. The pods that were all emptied all show signs of internal technical failure. No pods that are currently intact have been touched. Of the pods that failed, several of them were repaired and used to store bodies the Kabbalah wish to use in the future. I think this is supposed to be like it's a Vodwar stasis area that the Kabbalah then took over and started making the bodies from the pods that failed into Kabbalah. Alright, Captain Ensign, where'd you go? There he is.
I never imagined that we would find this. The Vodwar aren't fighting the Kabbalah over territory. They want their people back. This is why the Kabbalah stopped wandering. Everything they needed was here. It's not right. Some of the Vodwar in the stasis tubes could still be revived. The Vodwar are a dying race.
Grumpy, this is what happens when most of your streams are drunk. Brain cells start going fast.
Just like the Kabbalah are.
You're right, Captain Kim. We need to do something about this.
I'm glad you agree with me. We need to take this information to the General and get him to explain why they hid this from us. If the Kabbalah had been up front with us from the start, we could have figured out a better solution for this.
I agree. Let's go meet the General. You know I love you, Grumpy. I'm just kidding.
You've both returned.
General, we know about the temple. When were you going to tell us?
He's doing the handsome phaser man pose.
Our future, Captain.
How are we supposed to help you if you won't even tell us what the problem is?
That's enough, Captain.
Captain Dralier, you're late.
The Kazon delayed me. What's the situation? I see. Captain Kim, no matter our personal feelings, we must follow the Prime Directive.
The Prime Directive doesn't apply here. They're a space-changing warp civilization.
We'll talk more about this in private. I'm sure we'll see you again soon.
You know, I love how everybody repeats the Delta Rising was the best expansion ever and everybody loved it. Quote, without the important context from the beginning, which was, if you look at the data, I think what that person, whoever that was either Al or Steven who said that, but what the point of that was is that there's a large percentage of players who play Star Trek Online and never interact with us online, which is true. Phil, what was that? Were you trying to roll a die or were you trying to kill somebody? Yeah, that's a good point, Dexter. Ugh. Return to General Canal. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, Dahar Master, for everything. We never should have lied, but you're an outsider. And we've learned from past experience that not everyone can accept or even understand what we accept as necessary. I couldn't risk losing your support. It won't happen again. I'll give you all the information you need. The Vodwar will not stop, even if we return the remaining stasis pods. You know what they won't. Look what they've done to the Turay. Even the Krenim have fallen. I'll give you some time. We'll talk again when I have more information on our next move.
Before we begin, I must apologize on behalf of the Kabbalah people. We meant no harm using the Vodwar.
Number one. Got it.
When we found
the
stasis
one.
pods, many of them were damaged beyond saving. We honored their fallen by using their forms to preserve our species. The Vodwar, however, do not... Our ways are difficult to understand. For some, they may be reprehensible. No matter what the Vodwar think, we cannot end this practice without dooming our species to extinction. And that we will not do. Jetanian has sent word that he needs aid. Are you willing to help him?
One thing that's unfortunate about the just the very nature of running an MMO with a somewhat linear storyline is that they introduced a really cool concept with this this whole moral dilemma about the Vaudoir and the Kabali, but instead of what am I trying to say? But you don't really get any chance to act on it, which I think is why some players were frustrated with this story arc, because they set up a moral dilemma, but you don't get to make a choice. You just continue helping the Kabali.
Use your help.
And Sean, your father said you needed more support.
Yes, thank you for coming. One of our bases has been overrun. That facility contained research vital to our cause. Could you go to the base,
Excuse me,
recover the data, and bring it to one of our forward command posts? One of our scientists will be there waiting for you.
I'll recover the data from the overrun Kabali base. Yeah, exactly, Grumpy. You can tell stories where your actions have consequences. They just won't have... they may not have the impact they'd have in a even more linear game that has definitive endings. You couldn't really do Spec Ops: The Line online. And I think there's also a fear of, you know, I complain a lot about when I played The Witcher 3 and felt like every choice I made was a bad one. No, I don't think this is what I'm doing. In an MMO, if you get your players to the point where they feel like their characters are being just, you know, aren't following the choices they would make, then you can lose a lot of players. Yeah, definitely. Although I don't think that was all revealed in this one. You know. Caffeine doesn't work for me. I need to like get up and move around, but we're gonna be streaming for a bit longer first. I could put up a, you know, professional window and pretend that I'm not sleepy, but I am sleepy. Ah, dang it. I feel like the Red Angel suit should give me a heal when it turns on. But it's not actually a Common Rider suit as much as I hope it would be. I thought liquor was supposed to make you more sleepy. I've never heard of caffeine used as a pain suppressant, but I believe it. Oh, do you have a direct caffeine IV that you use? I know that feel very well, Disco. I use a lot of things to manage my emotional pain. Well, I mean, all of these things we're talking about, you know, are designed to be like pain drugs or a different kind of drugs. Oh, okay. They just ended up being used recreationally and then eventually became a part of the culture. Well, then maybe alcohol would wake me up. I really hate the taste of alcohol. And at this point, I've gone so long without drinking it that it kind of feels silly to to start now. No, I don't want to do any found missions. It's cool that they're there, though. Gamer girl bathwater? That's hilarious. Oh yeah, I still drink soda religiously. I just don't, I don't get the caffeine effect from it. Yeah, coffee and tea are both gross. You're 100% correct. Boop. There you go, that's what you wanted, right? You want to sit down? He looks so disturbed about the way I just picked him up. He probably should be. Bless you. Because it just didn't have any effect on you at all? That's unfortunate. Alright, we're looking for more boxes shoved into the earth. Boxes with glowy things on them. Stop trying to trick me into doing side missions. I'm doing one thing at a time. I'm glad to know that there are other people out there who don't love coffee. Coffee and alcohol seem to be these ubiquitous things that everybody loves. It is kind of lonely sometimes that all socialization on the planet Earth seems to revolve around a thing I don't like to drink. Peppermint tea is very nice. Most teas I find are just hot leaf juice, but I do like peppermint tea. Dexter, please explain. Am I about to be grossed out for the rest of my life because of what you just said? I did a 5-hour energy once, and I got more tired. I think it interacted poorly with my diabetes. It was terrible because it was right before this. I was feeling very sleepy, and it was right before this film course that I really wanted to pay attention to because it's about how to fundraise for your films. And it ended up not being that helpful in the long run, but it was then I took the shot of 5-hour energy and immediately almost fell asleep on the spot. It felt like taking a sleeping potion. That is an interesting mix, Grumpy. So alcohol makes you energetic but drunk, right? I just realized we're in Area 51. Hello, Horta. Oh, interesting. Well, I'm assuming that amount is small enough that I don't ever need to think about this again. Hey, Silk, what you doing? You're not trying to eat something off the floor? Oh, jeez, I dropped a french fry. Ugh. No wonder he's so interested in the floor. Just put it up here for now. I'll throw it out later. Yeah, it tastes weird. There's a character in an X-Men comic that you might appreciate, Grumpy. It's a character who his mutation is that he has to drink alcohol to stay awake. But he also falls asleep from drinking alcohol. Okay, Arthropore, you have a bunch of injuries. Can I just heal them? Great. Arthropore. Crack does not have any injuries. Okay. Got it, Dexter. That sucks. I'm sorry. Yeah, I had a lot of people... Hold on, I gotta get rid of my cat. He's trying to eat my chicken bones from earlier. Hey. Do you want to be baby? Are you gonna be baby? Are you a baby? Is you baby? Is you baby? Yeah, you's baby. Okay, baby. You sit down, alright? But yeah, I had a lot of people when I tell them I don't drink who are like, I'll find the right drink for you, and like, you won't. You won't.
Thank goodness you're here. You've recovered the
probably clip Silk's appearance.
Now, we need your expertise on several issues we're encountering.
Alright. Sweet, we finished Act 1. We need your help again. Okay, so we gotta do 3 different missions.
The scientist in our camp could use your help. We are examining the bodies of fallen Vaadwaur and are encountering a type of chemical we have never seen before. We're hoping you may have the resources to identify what the chemical is.
Something that they poison their own bodies with to prevent you from reusing them. Yep, it's the taste mostly, you know. And it like burns my chest. Your scans pick up a foreign chemical in the Vaadwaur's bloodstream and DNA. The chemical does not appear to enhance anything in the Vaadwaur's physiology, but there are traces of Kobali signatures in the chemical patterns. Wait, what was her voice? I don't remember. We've received the data, Captain. These are interesting. The presence of Kobali-like signatures gives me an idea. I'm going to run a quick simulation that replicates the genetic virus that the Kobali use to turn corpses into living Kobali. Aha! That's what I thought. What'd you find? I don't want to bet, Grumpy, because if somebody tells you they don't drink, you should just respect that. The closest I ever came was Bacardi Breezers and coconut rum, not together. Those are the two examples. But they still tasted like alcohol, and they still had that burn, and I was only drinking them because I wanted to appear cool to my friends, so it's not really worth it. The Vaadwaur have injected themselves with a chemical to prevent the Kobali from turning them into, well, Kobali. It's highly experimental and somewhat volatile, but it works. If the Vaadwaur perfected it and managed to inject it into all the stasis pods beneath the temple, they could stop the Kobali from taking their people. Interesting. I'll take this data to the field commander. Well, the science of anything is kind of interesting, Hunter.
Excellent work. We've already lost several scouts assigned to search the Vaadwaur bases for this information. Oh no! This could be devastating! The Vaadwaur intend to destroy our ability to reproduce! We need more information about this chemical.
I liked that emotional roller coaster, Grumpy. Wait, are you transforming Vaadwaur killed in battle into Kobali?
Of course we are. What else would we do with them? We give the Fallen a chance to be reborn. And now that the Vaadwaur are attempting to eliminate our entire species, we must take every opportunity to expand it.
Don't you think the Vaadwaur find this dishonorable?
Dishonorable? We believe that not turning a lost soul into a Kobali is a grave insult. It is saying that person was so despised, so destructive, that they do not
very
deserve
true,
a second chance at life. I would not wish that upon anyone, not even the Vaadwaur.
Let's get back to the matter at hand. What are you planning?
We have
Tabby.
already lost several scouts trying to get this information. Now we need to focus our efforts on obtaining samples of this chemical. We have no scouts to spare.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
kind of
will have to
annoying
take
that,
up the charge
you
to
know,
recover
Starfleet
chemical
is like, we
samples
need to respect
either from
Kabali
dead
culture.
Vaadwaur
And it's like, well, what if
canisters
Vaadwaur
left in
culture
the
is
field.
not having their dead people turned into Kabali? Don't we have to respect that too? Are you certain your other scouts are dead?
We have reports that they may still be alive. However, we have to act fast on this new lead. If we do not strike now and gather more samples, the Vaadwaur could potentially stockpile more of these chemicals. It is a regrettable decision, but we must consider the future of our people. Our scouts knew the dangers of their mission.
Scouts are more important. I will rescue them. I just remembered I'm not beholden to the Prime Directive. I'm a fucking Klingon space pirate. You know, it is called the Prime Directive. I do wonder if it's... Are Federation people expected to sacrifice their own lives in exchange for preserving the Prime Directive? Or is the life of an officer considered more important? I know most captains consider it more important for the lives of their crew. Give it to me, Grumpy. I want to hear your weirdness. I don't know that my guy would side completely with the Vaadwaur, because they're, you know, also dishonorably slaughtering an entire species, but he definitely would probably not help the Kabali as much as he does. It depends on the captain. Okay. Oh yeah, everybody, most major Starfleet characters have broken the Prime Directive when it comes to saving the lives of their crew. Captain, some of the scouts we rescued mentioned an abandoned Vaadwaur base nearby. They might have left something behind. This could be a good opportunity for us to look for more details on the Vaadwaur plans. Your orders? We will head to the abandoned Vaadwaur base. Archer never broke the Prime Directive? I thought he broke it, like, a lot. Rumbles 2. The first thing they say in chat ever on my stream is, I break the Prime Directive whenever it's required. You gotta respect it. Welcome, welcome. I don't know if you're a long-time lurker, first-time speaker, or if you're new here, but glad to see you. Oh, there wasn't a Prime Directive, so he couldn't break it. Got it. Oh no, I started another mission. Well, thank you to everybody who's following me around for jumping on that.
I'm here with reinforcements. We have to form a plan of attack.
Well, welcome. Good to see you,
I'll try
Rumbles.
to override the console.
Throw a
We need
follow
to get
our
these
way if you
shield
can.
Generators working.
You had to start a new Pharassan today? What made you have to start a new one? Activate temporary shield generators. Here's one. Seems my teammates know where these all are. Yeah, because I definitely saw the end of an episode of Enterprise once where T'Pol basically listed out to Archer all the ways he'd broken the Prime Directive without meaning to. But I guess the Prime Directive didn't really exist for humans then.
The console is all yours. Get all the data you can.
Sounds good. Oh, so you have to do this mission in order to get the console? Hi, Tabby. you want to come up? Nope, you're running away? Okay. Tabby only wants to get in a lap of his own accord. Oh yeah, Vulcan's breaking Prime Directive all the time. Everybody breaking Prime Directive.
Have you found anything?
Ooh, I always like... I can't remember what the Xindi Reptilian... what the Sistrus looks like. But... let me look it up real quick. Yep. Nope. Hi! Oh, no, bye! Okay. Oh, the Sistrus would look good with, the, Fakiri. Or the Zenkethi, I think. Yeah, until the very final episode where Archer finally gives his speech that we don't get to hear. I've never watched the finale of Enterprise, but I've heard so many people are still so mad about it that I've heard a lot over the
They want
years.
to drive us to extinction. Please, take this news to General Kinnell. We've repaired the transporter at this base, so you should be able to come and go as you please.
I'll speak with the General at once. It is an interesting, like, you know, the Kabali are all like, these are war crimes, them preventing us from resurrecting their dead to serve in our army. My favorite Prime Directive stories are always the one where people show up to a Ren Fair in Starfleet uniforms, and then there's somebody who hauls them aside and shows a Starfleet badge and is like, do you have any idea how much work you've just undone? Have you heard of the Prime Directive recruits? It's great. Oh, thanks, thirdest person. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
The Vaadwaur plan to make all organisms immune to rebirth? They have gone far beyond what I thought they were capable of. This is no mere war. This is an attempt at genocide.
Is it?
I will inform the members of the Alliance at once. We may need to move battle operations forward to combat this new threat.
Actually, yeah, it is. If they're trying to make all organisms.
Our forward base in the hills has new information regarding the Vaadwaur's chemical attack plans. Can you meet with Hanshin Sadalor about this new intel? I imagine, given our track record, that this will not be as easy a task as it sounds.
I accept. I almost hit transwarp, which would have just taken me to orbit. I thought it was, once a civilization had achieved warp, it was okay to reach out to them. Yeah, I realized that once he said all organisms. I thought the Vaadwaur were only doing it to themselves, and then I went back and reread and realized the viruses. They're planning on spreading the virus throughout the whole galaxy, which that is kind of genocide. Oh yeah, that is weird, Rumbles. They should be able to go barefoot. The Vulcans really had a hard-on for us. Commander, the General said you had news?
Yes, I do. The Vaadwaur have data on their project, somewhere in the hills. Our scouts attempted to recover more information, but they never made it back to base. The data should still be on them, if you can find their bodies. It is a grim task, but could you recover the data and then search for information on the chemicals?
I'll do what I can. Yeah, that should just be like it is in Champions. That should just be a costume piece. Where you going? Where you going? Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm gonna put the cat outside because he keeps getting tangled up in like wires and stuff down here. Say bye, Silk. Bye, Silk. Okay, we're back. Cannibal tribbles are very useful, Rumbles. Yeah, which seems to be the problem, Dexter. Consent is very important. Yeah, it's a weird situation, which is what makes it a good moral conundrum, but also. Remind me, what do you get when a cannibal tribble eats another tribble? I know it helps keep your inventory clear, but I don't remember what else you get for it. Exactly, Dexter. Again, that's what makes it a good moral dilemma. What can you do with a tribble carcass? Klingons could turn them in for a bounty? Ah, okay. Ooh, thank you very much for the follow, Mater Maximus 007. Speaking of 007, has anybody seen the trailers and gameplay from First Light, which is the Bond game from the Hitman developers that's coming out, I think, relatively soon? It looks amazing. Ooh, the bounty is for dilithium. Okay. And you could use them instead of prisoners in that one Universal Endeavor. Alright. Captain, I've analyzed the data. Did I just say analyzed? Captain, I've analyzed the data and determined that it details part of the composition of the anti-Kobali chemical virus. The Vodwar split the data into 3 parts and hid each one in a separate base. If we could recover all 3 of them, we would have enough details on the chemical strain to create a counteragent. We'll recover more data on the chemicals from other bases. Oh, what's up, Arcane? Welcome! My gun's cooler. I should have rolled with it. No, I think it was better to call attention to it so that you all could enjoy the fun analysis. Analysis. Anal assist sounds like anal assist, which is definitely not what I meant. I think the first time I played this mission, I vaguely remember I was waiting for the Vaadwaur to for this fight to be over, for the Vaadwaur to stop spawning, and I eventually realized that's not a thing. So we're gonna not do it this time. Analization reminds me that there were 2 new shirts, because that does sound like a shirt design that I should make but will never sell. There were 2 t-shirt designs that I was going to make. There was the sorry about bringing up your past trauma one, and there was another one, but I forgot. Anybody remember what I said? Grumpy, laxatives are available at your local pharmacy. Hey, Endeavor! Star of the earlier stream! Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. I'm sorry I didn't get to watch much of your stream. I didn't realize it was happening until I was starting mine. How did it all go? Oh, that's too bad the Zenkethi Vanity Shield is expensive. That would have looked great on that. If you can get a Romulan one, maybe that'll look cool. Or yeah, Fakiri would look great. Dexter, what did you do to get banned? That's really cool. Yeah, I tuned in for a little bit right near the very end, and it looked like you guys were kicking ass, which is not surprising in any way, shape, or form. Nord says you need to be on, you need to stream on YouTube so he can watch Endeavor, just so you know. These lovely folks who have been following me around all day, one of them has a Horda, and I appreciate that about them. I do wish we could have done a Horda Bridge Officer while I was there, and a Zenkethi Bridge Officer. And you know, while I'm at it, a Voth Dinosaur Bridge Officer. Ugh. Now you made me all self-conscious about yawning on stream, Grumpy. We did it! The only thing preventing us from accessing it before were people that were alive and are now dead. That's awesome, Endeavor. Yeah, I saw that you were showing off stuff at the captain's table, which was a cool place to show things off. I don't think I was, Grumpy, but I want to come back for another Reliant. I think Duncan stopped relying on me when I had to ditch that one time, which is absolutely fair. Although also he's been super busy with school and stuff. Welcome back, Rumbles. If you don't like ads, there's a good way to solve that. It's the subscribe button. You can also, if you have Amazon Prime, you can do one subscription for free. All right, but you know, I hope that doesn't come across to him as me being like, "Why the fuck haven't you called me?" That's fair, Rumbles. It is a fun place. I wish there was more to do to get more people there. We did a little bit of an update, but one thing that I really wanted to add, that I was trying to get Jesse to do for me, but he ran out of time, was being able to, whoa, that's a cool effect. Neat. Was having, you know, random celebrity characters wandering around, because that's sort of the idea behind the Captain's Table in fiction.
Excellent. We've been wondering when we would hear from anyone else, and having some place the Vaadwaur haven't found yet has been extremely valuable.
Is that Liam again?
There's still more work to be done.
Yeah, I saw that.
The strain, but we still need one last thing before we can create an antivirus.
Your information on the Vaadwaur's anti-Cabali research has been
nice.
Invaluable. But in order for it to work, we need a sample of the original strain of the virus. We know that the base near us has the original strain of the virus stored, but we don't have the strength to assault it.
So me and two bridge officers will do the assault instead.
Strain.
Oh, thought that was the door. It clearly wasn't. Is this the door? There's the door. Yeah, Rumbles, that's kind of the problem with it. Their stuff needs to be... Also, welcome back, Jeremy. There needs to be some stuff done to make it a better place to go, but also just because it's a social zone that is available 24/7, it's just never going to have a huge amount of population there. And that's okay. I just know, since it's a lifetime subscription reward, I always wanted to give it something special. Yeah, especially the new Wolf 359. Nick did such an amazing job rebuilding that. Clear base of all Vaadwaur. Oh, there they are.
The base is clear. We can start the data download now.
Alrighty. I mean, you still get a lot of cool stuff, Grumpy, for the LTS. Like, it's not become worthless, obviously, due to, you know, evidenced by the fact that people keep buying it. But it definitely, there's some things that could be done too. Yeah, that's true, Arcane. The Chimera is a really cool ship. Oh, I'm supposed to be fighting these Vaadwaur. It's alright, Dargon got my back. Dargon and Cogtash at Cabali. I heard that, Endeavor. I know there's another release coming up sooner or later, although the date has not been announced yet. It is interesting not having secrets. It's been a year of playing STO and not being able to say, "Ah, yes, I know exactly what that means, and I can't tell you." I guess I could still say that, but okay, the chemical is killing the Kabali. What do I do? Oh, I see. I fight more things. They're I think they were visually revamped recently. Visually revamped recently, but I think they like people are wondering about getting better stats for them and stuff because they're kind of outdated stat-wise. And if you're gonna pay for a lifetime subscription, you should probably get, you know, a really high-end ship, or at least a reasonably high-end one. Yeah, I like them too. They're good ships. There also was talk of adding a Dominion one at some point, although I don't think that ever happened. Oh, we did make a Dominion one. My brain is not braining. And really, you know, Grumpy is saying any ship can be good with the, or Endeavor's saying any ship can be good with the right build, which was something we were talking about earlier on the stream. And that is very true. But also, again, unless you're trying to, you know, be top 10 in ISC solo, you can have any ship in this game. Anything you build is not going to be completely useless. There are some builds that, you know, like if you took a pilot ship and made it a torpedo boat, or not a torpedo boat, a mine boat, that might be a bad time. But it just means you'll blow up a lot and not do as much damage as you might want. It doesn't mean you couldn't play the game. Brain and Brain, what is Brain, is another one of my favorite vocal stims. That's actually a sound effect I should add. We've received the data on the chemicals, sir. Examining them now. According to our readings, the chemical you encountered is designed to reverse the Kabali's rebirth process. The virus acts within seconds, and once a Kabali is infected, there is no recovery. Interestingly enough, in some ways this virus resembles the treatments the Doctor used to temporarily restore a Voyager crew member who was revived by the Kabali genetic virus. Do you have any idea why the Vaadwaur would develop both chemicals? According to this data, the Kabali killer chemical was meant to wipe out all Kabali on the planet. The anti-Kabali chemical would ensure that any Kabali they missed would not be able to continue their species. The Vaadwaur want to kill off the Kabali as fast and efficiently as possible. No loose ends. Mofongo. I knew as soon as I came up with an example, somebody was going to be like, well, I can build a ship like that that's good. Because I don't know enough about shipbuilding to say what would be a bad combination, too. Thank you, Tenatron! Happy Star Trek Day +1 to you, too. Alright. Can an immunization be made? Yes, but it would take some time. We will coordinate with Captain Dralia and Captain Kim's crew to do what we can. According to the data you've recovered, the Vaadwaur have a large amount of the chemical stored in their main base and are planning on unleashing it on the Kabali. Your orders? Begin work on a counter-agent. I'll speak with the Kabali. Oh, that sounds fun. Maybe we should do that as a community challenge, folks. What do you think? You have to create a ship build that solely relies on engineering abilities to defeat enemies. That would be fun. Oh, take the transporter back to the city. It's down here. Yeah, you know, it's one of those things. Yeah, Yes, the STO lifetime subscription is still $2.99 when it's not on sale. The Champions one got dropped by 100.
The Vaadwaur have a chemical that can instantly kill us? I don't even know how to respond anymore. I can only hope you all can come up with an immunization to it soon. I will rally our soldiers. We will need to make an all-out attack on their main base and stop the Vaadwaur before...
Grumpy says to tell Jeremy that one of the guys in the top 10 is a Ferengi engineer. Love that.
Hopefully, we will be ready to begin the assault then. We can't stop until the Vaadwaur...
What was I gonna say? Alright, we gotta decide on what the prize for this challenge is gonna be. So, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna give you all a week to submit your builds. Somebody write this down for me, so that I can post it in the Discord later. But you have a week to make your engineering-only builds. Your ship has to have all universal seats, right? Is that what you said, Jeremy? Yeah, all universal seats and rely solely on engineering buffs. Specs are allowed. Specs, weapons, and consoles are all allowed. And we'll just do it. The person that parses the highest damage run in ISE solo will win something. I got things I can give away around here. It'll probably be a Star Trek badge, because I've got a bunch of these still. I've got a lot of these. So 1 week from today, on next week's stream, we will examine your entries, and I'll mail one of these to whoever wins. But you got to submit your entry in the Discord first. I don't have any T6 ship coupons to give away, Rachel. Let me open Discord real quick. We'll announce it in the STO channel. Just announced on stream. Scoot this over. Just announced on stream. We will be holding a ship build contest. The parameters are as follows. The ship must have all universal seating. All bridge officers must be engineering bridge officers. Oh, what's the better solo run to do with it? This NPC is smelling something nasty, Maury. It's me. I'm a Klingon space pirate. Specs, weapons, and consoles are all allowed. Receive an official STO comm badge. All right. Judging will be conducted on next week's stream. Please submit your builds and a video of your run. Yeah, we can do 2 weeks. That's fine with me. On September 23rd stream. You can make videos, Hunter. There's so much software you can use, screen recording software you can download. Okay, that's all right then, Grumpy. We'll just do ISE. Your run of solo ISE to the thread below. Yes, I am getting everyone. And then we make a thread. All right, that is all set. Grumpy, oh right, I didn't post it. I posted it on Twitch chat, so that's why you haven't seen it. Hold on. Actually, Grumpy, if you just type !Discord, it should work. Heck yeah, Rachel. Okay. That was a fun diversion. I'm excited to see what you all come up with over the next 2 weeks. Alright, Act 3!
Our time to strike is now, before the Vaadwaur can deploy their main chemical payload. We would like you to be a part of the assault squad. Your first step will be to take and secure the Vaadwaur forward base in the mountains. Capture the base, and then meet with our squad in one of our hidden outposts in the mountains.
Alright.
They'll brief you on the next step.
Then I will post
Move
it for you
fast.
in
We do
that
not
chat.
know
Just a
when the
moment.
Forward base in the mountains.
Where's the chat? It's really fucking funny looking at YouTube chat on this side and just seeing grumpy. Hold on, let me post it. I don't know why commands aren't working on YouTube right now. That's something that we should definitely fix, but at this current time, I will just post this here for you. Enjoy. And yes, please come and join the Discord. I'd love to have you. So I go in by myself and capture the base. And then I go and meet your hidden squads hiding in the mountains. Sounds about right. I do love that GIF, Fragrance. I wish as an emote it would appear bigger. I know you have to like pay points for that. Are these like teleport points? No. I don't know what that means. And there's not a key. I believe in you, Rachel. That'll work. I keep wanting to go hit a button to get on my mount, because this makes me feel like Final Fantasy XIV. No, I'm not doing Facebook anymore. There weren't enough people watching. YouTube, I keep, even though there aren't a ton of people watching, because it's important. You know, because that's an easy place to have VODs. Oops. I think I just spooged all over my own men. All Universal is what we've been told, Phil, and I trust Jeremy's judgment, so. Yeah, no problem, Grumpy. I got commands working again. And also hello to whoever the 2 lurkers on YouTube are. Okay, so never mind. Let me add that update to the rules while I'm getting shot here. Also, Grumpy, how did you get banned on Twitch? What did you do? Unless it's like a long, sad story. Yeah, I got banned from Facebook, and Facebook never told me what I did. I found out what I did like 6 months later when the San Mateo Police Department called me to let me know I was off the hook because they'd done an investigation and decided it wasn't me who posted that on my Facebook page. And if you're like, what could possibly have been posted in your name to do that? Think of the worst thing. No, worse than that. They know who you are. They know what you did. Looney Walsh, I don't know what that was. Oh, I have to go back and take care of the entrance. Dang it. I was supposed to stand there. That's weird, Grumpy. I'm sorry that you have to deal with that. Meanwhile, this area is called choke point control, and yet Dexter hasn't made a joke yet. That's remarkable self-control, my friend. Yes, actually, Looney. He's already dead. Jeremy. Oh, God. No! No! It's bad enough it's gonna one day take my job. Did you guys hear about the AI artist that got banned from Dragon Con? That was pretty fun. I'm sure that's fine, Rachel. I don't think it's anything to be worried about. Yep. Exactly, Maury. There was a really great video Brandon Sanderson put out where he was talking about how he commissioned a piece of art for one of his books, and he put a lot of work into working with the artist in order to tell them what he wanted and like make changes and corrections, and yet he would still never call himself the artist of that artwork. Turkey jibs. Almost there. Almost. Push forward and weaken their defenses. Sounds good. Fragrance, I can and will ban you. Oh. Okay, so this isn't a stand in one spot mission. This is just a kill things mission. I did take a minute the other day and look at how far AI art has come from the early days. I am ashamed to say, because my phone has an AI art generator on it right now. I just used one of the prompts I used back in the day, and yep, it's gotten a whole lot better. That sucks. I can still always tell. There's something to do with the contrast and the shading, but oh, we gotta dismantle some towers. Okay. I am sure they will figure that out eventually. What really worries me is the people who are like good people who are having all these arguments like, you know, it's okay, everyone's doing it. And I'm like, that's it's not a great argument. Yeah, there's some of that too, Dexter. There's just a complete lack of it looks kind of like a what's the word? You know those that 3D program, the something 3D, begins with a D. Forgot what it's called. Anyway, that's a good program, and it's not AI, but all of its, you know, characters and stuff are too smooth, and like everything kind of looks off. Is that man you, Grumpy? Yeah, it just doesn't have anything in it that feels like art. I wish I could draw, and I understand the temptation and excitement that comes from, you know, I've been struggling my whole life to create this, but I can just give my idea to a program. The program will make it for me. But you still haven't really made anything in the end. Yeah, Hunter. Excellent, Grumpy. Welcome back, Rumbles. Sorry that you had to wait, but you know. Ugh. I mean, I would love it as an idea generation thing, or as a way to, like, you know, show people what you're thinking, like show real artists what you're thinking, if it wasn't for the fact that it's also destroying the planet, and that people are using it for full-on things. I had an argument with a friend a while ago because I noticed he was using AI art on his poster, and kind of gently mocked him for it. And then he was like, he was like, well, if there wasn't AI art, there wouldn't be art, because I couldn't pay for it. And I'm like, bro, Pixabay exists. Just go get free stock art and use that. I like that, Grumpy. That's kind of what I'm doing too. Initially, very early on, you know, for the first couple of weeks, I was the guy who would who could answer insider questions, but I am very much not that guy anymore. Yeah, it has, Dexter. I guess I'll take the Iconian pack. Yep. You're 100% correct, Hunter. And I have done that before. Next X ship when? Banned. I have taught the Fusion about AI voices, and I mock them whenever I can, but so many videos use them. Excellent work, Dahar Master. Victory is close now. All we need to do is destroy the stored chemicals and take their final command post. We're about to win a major battle in this war, Dahar Master. Are you ready? I guess. This is it, the final push. The Vaadwaur chemicals are up ahead. The base is heavily fortified. It'll be up to you and whatever forces you can muster to go after the Vaadwaur. Our forces will stay behind and hold off any Vaadwaur attacks from their bases behind us. Okay. Oh, look at this big group of forces they've gathered to not help me. I don't remember what you fucked up when you were on 10 Forward Weekly, Grumpy. I think that's going to turn out to be one of those things that's a core memory for you and was such a small deal that it didn't matter to me at all. I have a lot of those. I was thinking about them the other day. About those moments in your life that you're like, oh God, that was the worst thing that's ever happened. Everyone must think so little of me. And then you know, talk to somebody actually involved and they're like, that happened? Sometimes that makes you feel better, sometimes that makes you feel worse. It depends on the situation, I guess. Dang it. Thanks, Red Angel. My teammates know what they're doing and have played this many times before, so this is basically a Warframe mission with Mori and Rowan. I'm just gonna look pretty while everybody else does all the work. Ooh, wait, I might be able to disable this transporter! I don't remember that either, Disco. What, did I have to tell you to stop asking such and such when? I don't remember a negative experience with you at all, Grumpy. Rambling about our ADHD sounds like a great stream. Where do I deploy the spatial charts? To me, it was Tuesday. One of the greatest lines in cinema ever written for Street Fighter. It's always kind of amazing how that works. I was thinking about another line like that earlier today. Now, I can't remember what it was, but it was something where, like, that was really good. And this piece of media that it's in is not that great. When you say on, Dexter, were you on them in the chat, or did you actually jump on video? I don't remember that, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. We may have mentioned ADHD in this stream a time or two. Trigger detonation of chemicals. I'm gonna not stand right here while that happens. Nice.
We will not rest until our people are returned and the Kabali pay for their actions.
Okay, but they're not even your people, bro, because you're like a bluegill. Yeah, Raul Julia was incredible. There is a clip online from his and Meryl Streep's performance of The Taming of the Shrew that everybody should watch. It's great.
I will not rest until I see every Kabali dead in the streets. The Vadwar shall live on. I will make sure of it.
Okay. Yeah, that's a bit genocidal. Y'all are right. Grumpy, that is totally fine. I believe I jokingly asked you not to drink. Got it. That's what you mean, Dexter. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's gum up the works a little bit. There were entire Reddit threads about it? On the Stowe Reddit? Who cares? If I had an existential crisis every time they had a negative thread about me, it would have been exactly what it was. I had all those existential crises. But yeah, that subreddit really liked to complain. I hope they've gotten better now. Cool. Complete the open mission, The Last Stand. We gotta disable some command posts. Didn't we just do that? We'll do it again. It's fine. Is there any way to tell, like, is there a VFX symbol that I'm missing when these scouts are going to go invincible? All right, Phil. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Where's the fourth one? There were 3 in here. It's a tether between them and the target. Oh, the shield drones cause the invincibility. So when I start getting immune, I gotta look for a drone to kill. Got it. Oh, we did it. Okay, we gotta go shut down the transporters again. Plant the charges and destroy the chemicals! Just assuming that's how he sounded. Do we plant the charges back where we blew things up originally? Or is there a different area? It looks like we plant them back where we did originally. Because that's what's happening. These people are over here. So let's do it. Let's blow some shit up. Oh, the open mission just fully restarted. Okay. Even though we completed it, I thought.
We will not rest until our people are returned and the Kabali pay for their
That
actions.
just didn't count. Ho ho ho! I have a phaser machine gun. Where's the dude? There he is.
I will not rest until I see every Kabali dead in the streets. The Vadwar shall live on. I will make sure of it. I will not forsake my people to the fate of these disgusting creatures.
Where is the shield drone? I see no drones.
Impossible. My people. I am sorry.
Goodbye. Okay, there we go. I'll take another one of these, I guess. You know, I was making fun of the Kabali for staying back, but I remembered just now that the Vodwar have an insta-kill virus, so...
But the Vodwar will return at any moment. I suggest we pull back to the city.
Sounds good.
Agreed. We need to deal with the Kabali using the Vodwar for rebirth.
Captain Kim, that is not our concern. The Prime Directive is clear on this.
The Vodwar were trying to exterminate the Kabali, but the Kabali are trying to eliminate the Vodwar by absorbing their culture. I understand the Prime Directive, but we're already here. We're already involved. And the results of the Kabali's actions are no different than the Vodwar's.
You have a point, Captain Kim, but I believe this would be better discussed in a more secure location.
Agreed. We'll give you an escort to the city.
Sounds good. Or we could just transport. Okay, let's walk. That's true. It is a radiation machine gun. Look at these two sleeping on the job. Apparently Crack needs a double dose. Oh, she's got it.
We can't thank you enough for all your help. The war will continue, but now we have the upper hand. We're trained.
What did you just find, Grumpy?
We have only
Oh
one
my god, Dexter, well done.
What should we do with the stasis pod?
Judge! Jury! Executioner!
Thank you for all your help. I believe it is time we discuss what to do with the remaining Vodwar stasis pods. Our
Alright, off we go. The Tales of the Honorable Three? Yeah, of course.
To their temple to discuss the status of the Vodwar.
I've got my copy right over there in my display cases. My first and so far only piece of published writing. This is a very slow load for this mission. Yeah, Dexter, I'm gonna be in a anthology that's being kickstarted sometime later this year, so I will definitely post about that here when it happens. I assume there will be a digital version. There should be. I love that that guy's praise was Thank you very much for the subscription, Disco. I don't know when that happened and if I only just saw it late. You're already a hardworking moderator, and you don't have to give me money, but I do appreciate it.
Thank you for meeting us here. We have spoken with delegates from the Alliance and have come to an agreement about the Vaadwaur. We will cease reviving Vaadwaur from stasis pods that are failing and ensure the upkeep on said pods.
Hey, that's still awesome, Grumpy, that you still have it. That makes me really happy. I'm glad you kept it. I think that is for the
I have come
best.
to see that now. We will release the remaining Vaadwaur from their pods once their current forces have shown us that we can come to a peaceful solution. In the meantime, we shall continue to use this area as a holding area for non-Vaadwaur who will become Kabali.
So you plan on using this as a storage facility for bodies?
Yes, I know it may seem grim to you, but for us, it is sacred. This shall be a place where those who have lost their lives await to have a new life given to them. In time, we will fill this hall again with those who can earn another chance at life.
How will you acquire new bodies?
We are sending scouting ships to several planets that the Vaadwaur have attacked. With the permission of their people, we will take the victims of the Vaadwaur
Alright, well,
and
the
give
permission's
them
the
a
important
second
part.
chance at life. Our hope is for this to lead to new alliances with the other species of the Delta Quadrant.
It is good that we could all come to a solution. I will take my leave.
Are you ready to leave? I think we've done everything. Thank you again for everything you've done here. I'm relieved that we've cleared this up and can move forward with the Kabali. Let's head back to the city.
Aww, that's awesome, Grumpy. That makes me really happy.
Don't worry, Harry. I'll take good care of you.
Dun dun dun! I am very excited to play that mission, but it is 4 o'clock. That is my cutoff time this day. So, first of all, thank you so much to everybody who came in today and joined us. Thank you to all of our new followers and all of our new subscribers. Thank you very much to Celestial Voyager, and we got another raider. I know we did. And Mutara Alliance for the raids today. Please go give them a follow. Double Harry all the way across the sky. What does it mean? My name's Mike Tatum. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you'll be back. Tomorrow we are going to be doing No Man's Sky, but I remembered that I have League of Swords rehearsal tomorrow, so it may start a little late. I'll keep you guys up to date on that. It should be around 9 p.m. Pacific tomorrow night. If you like this stream, if you like this community, please come and join our Discord.
Consent is necessary. It's very important.
Hey, SAB. I'm glad you're going to have fun. All right, so that's our Discord link. Go ahead and click that. Head on over there. Join us. Hang out. Chat. There's some fun stuff happening, including this new challenge that Bordicus kindly came up with for us. I appreciate it. We have merch, and if you're seeing it for the first time, we've got some great stuff for you STO fans. We've got the Duncan Idaho designed proud captain of a frisbee strapped to a canoe. And of course the Duncan Idaho. These are all t-shirts. USS Oberth, a frisbee strapped to a canoe shirt. We've got You Madron Bro as a shirt. We've got the we had a really fun thing one day where we all started just riffing off of the idea of ludonarrative dissonance and making different rhymes and things on it. It's right. There's another example of one of them, and they're mostly all on that shirt. We could get a shirt where you can be right about The Last Jedi, no matter what you think. You're just right. And we just added the Warframe Wednesdays shirt, and we're going to have a couple more designs going up there soon that I think are going to be really fun. All right. So, thank you all so much for being here. I said that already. We're into the things now. If you want to follow me, I'm on social media. Vengeance God on Blue Sky and Broken Infinity Films on Instagram. I am the host of 3 podcasts on the Ace of Geeks podcast network. You should check them all out. I think you'll enjoy them. They're all generally nerdy and hilarious. And the League of Swords is my baby. It is a thing that I love to death. It is professional wrestling combined with sword fights. With a cast of crazy sci-fi and fantasy characters, including me as Vengeance, the final boss, the beat-em-up video game boss that literally punched his way out of an arcade machine to get there. And we have a show coming up. A show you will be able to see should you be in the Los Angeles area and coming to LA Comic-Con on Sunday, September 28th at 2:30 p.m. in room 303 AB. So if you're coming to Los Angeles Comic-Con, please come and check that out. Hopefully we'll have some new episodes of the show popping up this week too, now that I have a little bit more time to, head to the library and do stuff. So appreciate that. Appreciate all of you. Finally, I've got a wish list. If you want to buy me stuff, you can do it there. All right, let's see who is streaming right now and who we will raid. Granny Wiz is on. Demonic Baker is on. We'll send it over to Granny Wiz. I like her. I don't know if Wizarding 101 is everybody's speed, but she's got a motorcycle. Dang. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thanks for being here. Always appreciate hanging out with you. And I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now.